Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Gina Woodall, who is the president of Rockbridge Associates. And Rockbridge Associates is the partner with the Norwegian School of Economics and the Gabelli School in implementing the American Innovation Index. So I'm going to turn it over to her to share insights about what this index is and results of the index for this year, and some of the companies that have really been able to shine. So with that, I'll turn it over to Gina.
Hi again. Thank you so much, Lorzan, for the introduction. Let me see if I can get the screen up. There we go. All right. Again, we're excited to be a partner with the American Innovation Index with Lorzan's team at the Gabelli School, as well as the Norwegian School of Economics. Rockbridge is a research consulting firm, and our involvement in this, I think, is really driven by the fact that a lot of our research is designed around focusing in on the digital transformation of services businesses. We do a lot of work in lots of different industries and in services, including financial services, hospitality and travel, education, and of course technology as well. So we're excited to be a part of this initiative. And as Lorzan said, my job here today is to give you some background on the American Innovation Index. I'm going to share with you the vision, the scope, the methodology for it, introduce you to our 2020 winners this year, talk a little bit about why it really matters for a company to be innovative, and also what makes companies innovative in the eyes of their customers. So first, the vision, scope, methodology, and winners. So what is the American Innovation Index? The AII really originated in Norway from researchers at the Norwegian School of Economics who really believe that the true indicator of innovativeness in a market can be gleaned best by the actual experiences of its customers. So we were intrigued by this idea and ended up partnering with the Gabelli School as well as the Norwegian School to introduce and implement this study in the United States. And this is actually our third year in conducting the study, which we're very excited about given the crazy year we've had. We were excited to see the results. Also a little bit about the methodology. It is a nationally representative online survey of 5,000 adults and comprising over 23,000 customer touch points. It is not based on analysts or industry experts' opinions. It's really based on firms' customers and what their experiences are related to innovation with the company. So we actually have customers, they are selected to rate 5 brands that they have done business with in the past 12 months. And they are asked several areas. One of them is around innovation, which is the basis for the American Innovation Index. It's their perceptions of the general innovativeness of the company. And it's really made up of four metrics around being innovative, being creative, changing the market with their products and services, and being a category pioneer. Those metrics are put together into the AII combined in a 0 to 100 scale index. And the index has gone through quite rigorous scientific development and as well as validation by the Norwegian School, as well as other metrics within our own survey in the US to validate those metrics. We also measure a unique construct called social innovation. And social innovation is really around how well the company innovates to benefit society and the environment. So it's perceptions of the company having innovative offerings to benefit society, prioritizing the social good, and creating innovative solutions. We also have metrics on customer loyalty, a lot of the traditional metrics around continuing to be a customer, recommending the company in the future, and saying positive things. And we also measure attractiveness. So this is the attractiveness of the company to do business with in terms of having higher quality products, better prices, a better reputation, and just plain attractiveness to do business with. So that's kind of how the AII works. So what do we cover? In 2020, we covered 19 industries, and they're listed here. The sectors that we chose to cover are the top consumer-driven sectors within the US economy. The companies within the industries that we measured are the largest US companies, Fortune 200 companies that have large consumer businesses, but we also included some other market share leaders that might be in smaller companies, but they really have a strong share within that industry. And also we included some disruptors as well as emerging industries in the sharing economy and streaming services as well. So that's kind of the breadth of the study. So in 2020, we found this is the AII results overall across all industries, as well as the SAI, the Social Innovation Index. In 2020, the AII was a 68.6 and the SII was 63.2. So what was exciting for us, we saw a 5-point jump in both metrics after two, pretty similar years in 2018, 2019. And I think we're all thinking that really the reasoning behind this is just the challenging year that companies have faced in 2020 with the pandemic, with the social justice movement. It's really affected American businesses, but in a way, it's shown us how innovative the U.S. business economy is because what we're seeing, we believe, is that many companies responded positively. They adapted their business models. They adapted very quickly to these challenges, which resulted in a very dramatic increase in innovation and social innovation. So I don't want to say too much more about what's going on here. We are going to have a session in just a little bit around the pandemic's impact on innovation. So you'll hear more about that, but that was quite an exciting finding this year. So let me introduce to you the 2020 top 20 winners out of the 173 companies that were included in this study. On the left, we have the American Innovation Index winners, and on the right, we have the Social Innovation Index winners. And in the center where they converge are winners that are in the top 20 on both indexes. So both for customer-focused innovation as well as social innovation or innovation that benefits society and the environment. What we found is that the top 4 most innovative industries, you might think number 1 would be technology, but in fact it's automotive. We have a lot of winners in the automotive industry: Toyota, Ford, Nissan, GM, Chrysler, and Hyundai. We have consumer durables and equipment manufacturers are the second most innovative sector, with John Deere and GE, Stanley Black & Decker, Goodyear, Weber, and Bridgestone Tire. Investment services are another innovative category with Charles Schwab and JP Morgan. And then of course, technology with Netflix and Apple, Microsoft, and Adobe. We also have some retailers and we have some supermarkets. We have IKEA, we have Amazon, Costco, Trader Joe's. So really a wide range of companies across industries made the top 20. So you're going to hear from some of these companies in a little bit on our schedule. But I just wanted to, they'll tell you more about their strategies for affecting customer and social innovation, but we definitely want to say congratulations to our winners this year. So what I want to talk about next is kind of answering the question is why does customer-focused innovation matter? Why should companies strive to be at the top of this list? Our research has shown that innovation is a strong driver of customer loyalty when it influences the customer experience. So if you start on the left of this graphic around company innovation, companies innovate, through their R&D, the people, the technology, the IP that they have. All of those innovations are going on at the company. But the ones that affect the customer experience in ways that change the value proposition, their products and services, the way they deliver value, the way they treat their customers, their physical and digital spaces, those changes affected by their company's innovation actually lead to stronger emotions among customers, positive emotions like arousal and pleasure, which lead to feelings of the company being innovative, attractive, I want to do business with this company, and ultimately leads to customer loyalty. So to illustrate an example of this in a highly competitive, crowded industry where really you need to do more than just satisfy customers. Let's look at the supermarkets and drugstore industry as an example. And what we have plotted here on the vertical axis is the AII. So the most innovative companies are at the top of the axis there on the left. And we plotted loyalty on the horizontal axis for the most loyal customers to the right. So what we see is that companies that are highly innovative have highly loyal customer bases. You can see it goes down from there. So companies like Trader Joe's up in the upper right-hand corner, they scored third. They ranked third out of 173 firms in terms of being in terms of their customer-focused innovation. And you're going to hear more from them later, so I don't want to spoil their what they're going to talk about. But I think you know, Trader Joe's business model is different from a traditional grocery store chain. They have smaller stores, a lot of private label brands. They have seasonal offerings, things that are different than some of your typical grocery store chains. Aldi's is number 28, so another top one on the AII. Similar business model in some sense to Trader Joe's, but also has a focus on lower cost, even lower cost than Walmart. So another unique aspect to them. And you compare that to a company like Ahold down in the corner, where one of the least innovative companies within this industry and has the least loyal customers. So what you're seeing there is this is a company that owns Food Lion, Giant, Stop and Shop, brands that if you've been in their grocery stores, a very similar experience today as it was 20 years ago. So not a lot of change that would really drive changes to the customer experience that would really impact the loyalty of their customers the way that a Trader Joe's has with a different type of business model and the innovation it provides. We see a similar pattern in social innovativeness. So again, plotting the SII on the vertical axis for the most socially innovative companies at the top, and then loyalty on the bottom. We see very similar pattern here. So Trader Joe's enjoys, they have high social innovation and they have the most loyal customers that you see here. So Trader Joe's doing things like donating 100% of their unsold food and having recyclable materials, things that customers see during their experience in their stores really resonates with them and driving greater loyalty. Another piece of social innovation that we're kind of attributing to social innovation to some extent is their response to COVID this year. As part of the AII survey, we asked about customers' expectations from companies during COVID, and Trader Joe's was ranked 6th out of 173 companies, really exceeding customers' expectations and how they responded to COVID. So we think that also may have contributed to high social innovation. And again, comparing that to companies like Ahold, not to keep picking on them, but they're 150th out of 173 companies. So really not showing customers that they're innovating for society, the environment at a broader level to really gain loyalty from their customers. When you put the two together, innovation on the vertical axis, social innovation on the horizontal axis, you really see that you can really gain a lot of power and really drive greater customer loyalty and be more successful. So we call these companies transformative companies in the upper right quadrant, where they're highly innovative, highly social innovative. And you see Trader Joe's up there and Aldi, Whole Foods, that group of companies. Clearly, you want to be transformative, both high on customer innovation as well as social innovation to really affect customer loyalty over time. You can also be disruptive, so you're innovative, but you're not really innovative in any ways that benefit society and the environment. So we have a few of those, although they're kind of in the middle towards the bottom of that quadrant box. And then we have the stagnant companies that are doing neither customer-focused innovation or social innovation as recognized by customers, and they're suffering from it in terms of their customer loyalty. So our research team, including Dr. Axoy and Dr. Cunningham from St. John's and our team at Rockbridge, have actually been modeling the impact of the AII on future stock returns for the companies that are in our study over the past couple of years. And what we're finding is that not only is customer innovation driving loyalty, it is actually a strong predictor of future stock returns. So really making the investment that's noticed by your customers in innovation really will have an impact not only on loyalty, but on your actual bottom line. So that's some exciting research we're continuing to work on as we gather more data. The last thing I wanted to talk about was reasons for innovativeness. So this year we asked what makes these companies that customers do business with innovative and socially innovative. And I want to show you a case study for the health insurance sector to kind of show you some insights here. So these are the major health insurance companies that we measure in the AII and SII metrics. And you can see that Kaiser Permanente is highest on both metrics. They're ranked 55th out of 173 companies on the AII, and they're ranked 25th on the Social Innovation Index in 2020, compared to a company like Aetna at the bottom and the others in between. So this is also interesting, similar to supermarkets and drugstores, we see in health insurance that, your industry, the industry that you're in should not drive and does not drive how innovative you can be and to be able to get the benefit of greater loyalty and higher financial returns. That really within every industry, there's winners and there's losers, and you can control that by your actions. So some of the things, that's what we wanted to explore, is really understanding what drives that innovation, social innovation. So we're going to take a look at Kaiser versus Aetna. We asked customers about each company and what makes them innovative and what makes them not innovative. And we used the same list of reasons on the left. We had a lot of reasons, a long laundry list of reasons that you might be innovative, that we developed from an in-depth open-end analysis that we did in with our 2019 data. And we're able to determine, the number of mentions that customers gave for each attribute in terms of does it make them innovative or does it not make them innovative? And so slight wording changes, of course, for the two. So we wanted to look at Kaiser versus Aetna here. And what we were finding, kind of in the dark blue, I've highlighted some of them to make it easier for you to see them, that customers are more likely to mention that Kaiser's innovative because it cares about its customers. But it also, if you look further down, its use of various technology and continuing to improve its products and services are also areas where there's big gaps between mentions between Kaiser and Aetna. And I don't know how much everyone knows about Kaiser, but Kaiser has always been a very technology-driven type of health insurer, really taking advantage of technology to improve the customer experience, using lots of telemedicine options, using mobile apps, and they have things like the Lively Mobile Plus, which is a personal emergency response device to keep members safe who might be at risk. They also have the advanced alert monitor to identify health issues before they happen, as well as just the use of telemedicine, texting, mobile apps, the website, those types of things. They're using those a lot more to their advantage to help keep patients healthy. You can see a little bit with Aetna too over here. It gives you some hints as to, if I'm at the bottom of the list or even in the middle of the list, how do I improve my innovation? That's a big question. I want to be higher. I want to have greater customer loyalty. This is part of that analysis that can be done. And you can see with Aetna that exceptional value for the money, I believe it's the fourth one down, has a lot of customers saying they're not innovative in this area. Also being flexible with customers. Are there ways that they can innovate in their customer experience to be able to deliver in those areas and really improve their innovation and their customer loyalty. And finally, I wanted to look at a similar analysis for social innovation. Just to focus in for the sake of time, we're just showing Kaiser here. We asked companies who are socially innovative, or asked customers what makes them socially innovative. So for Kaiser, the top things that make Kaiser socially innovative are their outstanding customer service, supporting the communities they serve, and providing clean environments for customers, as well as creating ways for people to be a part of the community. What's interesting as you think about those things that are driving Kaiser's social innovation, Kaiser's ranked, as I told you, 25th on the Social Innovation Index in 2020, but they were 64th in 2019. So they really made a big jump this year. We think part of that may be driven by their response to COVID. They really had an outstanding response, and they rated very high. I think they were 6 on their response to the pandemic. They really recognized early that COVID was a real threat. They used very aggressive mitigation strategies in their health centers. They used telehealth visits before a lot of the other insurance companies started to use them. And that they were also just supporting the communities with aggressive testing. And if you've noticed in some of the national television, you've seen them on with the coronavirus task force, really one of the companies at the forefront of the research on COVID. And I think they were front and center early on. And I think that quick reaction helped boost their scores here on social innovation as an issue. So just to wrap up, key takeaways we want you to know. Companies that innovate enjoy higher customer loyalty and increase the bottom line. So not only is it customer loyalty, but it's actual bottom line. By making those investments in customer-focused innovation, you can do that. Your industry doesn't determine your innovativeness. I think we've shown that with both grocery stores and drugstores, as well as the health insurance sector. Any company can improve their innovativeness. You need to ensure your effort and investments reach customers downstream to impact your bottom line. So you can't innovate for the sake of innovation. It needs to affect your customers to really have an impact. Innovation is a powerful strategy to drive growth in a crowded sector where satisfaction isn't enough. As one of the researchers at the Norwegian School always says, satisfaction is the price to play, but satisfaction is the price to play, but innovation is the price to stay. So satisfaction is only table stakes. You really have to innovate to increase customer loyalty over time. We really believe the AII and tracking customer-focused innovation is the next KPI. And even if you are innovative, you need to consider social innovation in order to be transformational rather than disruptive. And understanding why customers believe you are or not innovative and socially innovative compared to competitors can help you prioritize your investments. So really digging into the whys behind those metrics can help you improve on those and enjoy greater success. So that's all I have for you. Our team wants to really encourage you to join us online on our social media. We are constantly posting insights from the US study, and hope that you'll follow us on social media. And if you have any questions for me, you can also reach out by email as well. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gina. I know this is a huge undertaking, and we are so grateful that you are a partner on this. So we're going to go on to the Q&A session. And for the Q&A, I'd also like to invite Charles Colby, who is the Chief Methodologist of Rockbridge Associates, to join. And the first question is, again, from Norway. Murat Besile is asking, do more innovative companies have unique methodologies to track customer pain points and address them with innovations? I don't know who wants to take that. Gina, Charles?
Charles, did you hear that one?
Yes, and I read it. I can give some perspective on that. The issue is looking at pain points. And I think that the more innovative companies, they do two things. Rather than looking at alleviating like incremental pain points or even re-engineering their business, they look more transformatively. They look at out-of-the-box ways of adding value or changing the way they deal business with their customers. So they don't just think in terms of solving problems. Like there's a lot of methods that are used, for example, journey mapping, customer experience tracking is very common. We do that for our own clients, but those are focused on a very transactional part of how people do business with the company. So an innovative company thinks broadly, like are there fundamental ways we can change the way we do business to think of a totally different business model. And just to give an example, like some of our clients are credit unions, and they tend to be very innovative within the financial services sector. We've had one client that has brainstormed on a lot of technology-based ways that would transform the way of doing business. And then they engage their customers in forums to discuss how they can, how their customers can adopt this and how it can change their lives. The other thing I would say is that the more innovative companies focus internally on their organizational structure, and they make sure that innovation moves downstream. So you might have two companies, each with brilliant R&D efforts and ideas that come up internally for changing the customer model. But another organization might gain the edge because they work on things like breaking down silos and communicating and getting their innovations out in front of the customer more quickly. So that's the other part of the challenge, is moving things downstream.
Thank you, Charles. I have a question for you. This is a question I get a lot, so I'd like to ask the two of you. How is innovation different from customer satisfaction?
You want me to take that one? You kind of explained it already.
Yeah,
you identified those metrics that are looked at. Because I've had people come to me and say, well, if you're satisfied with the company, why don't you also say they're innovative? And one thing that we point out is you're then pushing a judgment forward that innovativeness is inherently a good thing. So the metrics that were developed in Norway that quantify innovation, they're all very objective kinds of things. They're not things customers necessarily care about. Like, is this company creative? Is it pioneering? Is it first in its market with ideas, things like that. That doesn't really add value to a person. It simply shows they notice things that are happening that are different. So satisfaction captures more the day-to-day satisfaction and delivering within the confines of an existing service model. But innovation tracks whether there are differences or changes which occur. And as we talked about earlier, when there is change and positive change, it actually stimulates positive emotions among customers. It makes them find doing business with the brand more attractive. You are really happy doing the same thing year in and year out, but ultimately it's changing and improving radically that can make a difference. That's what innovation tracks.
So I have one final question for you. If a company is profitable and has satisfied customers, why should it be concerned if it's low on the AII?
I think there's always a concern there that you're going to have a disruptor come into the industry. And I think we've seen that and that's why we've included them in our study, even if they don't make our cut from the Fortune 200, because You have companies such as in lodging, you have Airbnb in there. You have very profitable, successful lodging brands, but Airbnb enters and is a disruptor. So you've really got to be on your toes, I think, and always be thinking about improving on the customer experience and using innovation as a way to do that.
Yeah, you see that in a lot of industries where there's a company that comes out of the blue and delivers value in a totally different way. Another example are the streaming companies like a Netflix or a Spotify, I believe, is talking today. And they're just changing the way that traditional, companies do business. And your traditional cable companies are really having to deal with streaming services, for example, which are totally meeting the same needs in a better way from a completely different angle. That's disruption.
Thank you so much, Charles and Gina, for joining us today and telling us more about the results this year and about the AII and the SII.